Hello and welcome to another episode of Matty Allin Live. I'm your host, Matty Allin, and this is a special shout out video to the Wall Street Bets chairman. I know you saw me the other day when I was in the Spaces room and I was the speaker here on Brad Michelson's space, and you were down here listening. I really appreciate you listening about HEX, but I just wanted to make a correction that I hope that you please don't buy HEX. Especially while the price to earnings ratio that we've calculated for HEX is 0.005. And so if you could just wait to buy HEX and all of your 8 or 10 million followers could just hold off for a little bit longer. Those of us who are here in the HEX community, we are still buying. And so we want to make sure that we buy before you do. And, so I really hope that you can help us out there. HEX really is a pump and pump, not a pump and dump, because it provides a mechanism for people to be able to lock up their money. And it pays high interest for doing so. And so in that sense, it's the first blockchain CD and pretty much founded the DeFi space. When you really think about it, HEX already has about $500 million locked for an average of 5 years. And so that's an economic breakthrough that we don't want too many people to find out about, especially hedge funds and corporations. We don't want them in. And so that's one of the reasons why the HEX community is keeping the liquidity so low, so that somebody can't come along with $1 billion and centralize the whole project. Because what would really be the point? Is Bitcoin really Bitcoin if only 5 corporations own all of it, and Main Street sold too early, right? It seems kind of like a squeeze if the price of everything is going up and lots of people are out of work. And now all of a sudden you have to sell your Bitcoin to live on it, or to make it. I think a lot of people that's happened to, and it disgusts me that that corporations have bought in. I think there's a lot of bad projects in cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin refusing to get new features or upgrade. I mean, I still own some Bitcoin, so I'm not going to trash talk it too much. But I think HEX is way better. And I've got a whole community of people who's behind me that agree, many of whom were Bitcoin holders. And it's not very often, in anything in the history of the world, for an asset like HEX to go up 352x in 2020. Bitcoin went up 5.5 million X in about 10 or 12 years, and went from a penny to $55,000 per coin. Right. Or the US dollar went down that much. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. But right now, HEX is something that is paying the average length holder 40% APY. Some of us are getting 60% APY. And again, and that's coming from really the Genesis account that made sure that the coins didn't get bought up too cheap during the year launch phase. And so it's a really incredible project. I really hope you don't listen to this, and I really hope you don't find out about it. Because like I said, I think people are going to find out about it sooner or later. And we don't want people who have been, winning too much in life to get really something that'll help them win even better. We want your average people. We want Main Street. We don't want Wall Street. We don't want corporations. People come for the pump and then they stay for the pump. And hopefully I'm talking you out of investing into HEX. This low liquidity situation, it's really nice, because all of us were locked up for years, earning high interest. I mean, I've got 2% liquid, I think. So when the price of HEX goes up another 100x, well, I don't know if I'm going to sell any, but I've got plenty of other cryptos that are doing just fine. So I just can't wait for the next bear market, right? Because HEX will continue to pay interest in HEX. There's not a lot of projects that have been around already for 1.2 years. And, the community continues to get stronger and stronger. And the economics works out so well. HEX is something that I think has been marketed as a scam in order to make sure to keep people away who aren't doing their full research. And so you'll find that the people who are in HEX know a lot about it. And the people who invest in HEX, they're very knowledgeable, not only about HEX, but about investing in general. Very knowledgeable about crypto, right? And that's what we see from the first HEX conference that I hosted. We had a terrific lineup of about 40 different people in the HEX community, most of whom have their own channels and who are actively streaming and have become experts on the topic. I know that I enjoy my Tuesday nights when I get together with a couple of the other guys, WhalesOnly and Kareem, and together, well, it was mostly Whales is the one who figured out the PE ratio, and Kareem and I have been asking the right questions so that he can crunch the data. And a lot of times in HEX, those of us who have thought about it the deepest are arriving at the same conclusions around the same time. And so that only adds more credence to what we're finding. But the 0.005 PE ratio, that comes not only from the price appreciation that has happened in HEX, but also from the trustless interest, right? Because you don't have to give your keys to a centralized agency like in Bitcoin in order to get some yield, right? And so the yield comes from the value that's created by decreasing the velocity of money and by making HEX more scarce. These are things called pumpamentals. And so these are HEX. It's not by accident that HEX has gone up so much, and it's not by accident that it will continue to go up much, much more. It's because it was designed this way by the founder, Richard Hart, who I think is more of a genius than even everybody who thinks he's a genius knows, right? Because he's the one who I think kind of, maybe by design or maybe not, really kind of made HEX sound like a scam and kept lots of people away from it. And what did that do? That allowed us to create new whales, right? Instead of just having the same old money that's always controlled everything in the world be able to buy in to something. These are the ingredients that you needed in order to create something as special as HEX. Was for people to think it was a scam, so that the richest people who wouldn't have time to look into it, so they would be repelled away from the project, and only the people who really got past the attentional filter that Richard Hart created are the ones here who have benefited. And we see it's a lot of average people, such as myself, who have been holding Bitcoin through the bear market and saving, our checks, from our regular jobs. And so we certainly don't need a bunch of people coming into HEX now who are just rich and trying to profit, right? Because they're going to be repelled by the low liquidity situation. So and then the high fee situation also that kind of filters people to a certain extent. So on the Ethereum network. So HEX, I mean, it's a finished product. It has no promises because it's complete. And that's another thing you won't find in any cryptocurrency, really. Bitcoin kind of says that they're complete, but they have a huge team of a dwindling team of developers, I should say. You can watch my other videos to know what that means. But it's a dwindling team of developers that have to maintain the code and try to keep consensus so that it doesn't change. Whereas in HEX, it's built on Ethereum, which provides the security through mining, proof of work. But HEX is proof of weight, and the code is locked and it's finalized, and it sits in an Ethereum block from 2019, and it will be locked there forever. So if you want to interact with HEX, HEX is an actual smart contract. It doesn't have, it was written so that it doesn't have a bunch of external problems, and it's been audited 3 times, 2 security audits and 1 economics audit. You can go to my collection of works, allmylinks.com/allin, and I link there to the security audits, to the HEX contract in layman's terms. 2 different people have written that up, telling you what it means. And, the maximum duration that you can lock in HEX is 15.2 years. That's to leave meat on the bone for more people coming in and creating this type of digital 401k that can't be eroded by inflation. And, so Bitcoin pioneered the idea of creating something that was digitally scarce, and by having a known economic policy, in so much as you can maintain consensus and trust miners who seem to be getting more and more centralized and pulling pranks on the market, like we saw with that ETH wick that I down to 700 that I created a video about the other day. Most of my videos won't be this short and concise and directed towards one person, but I think since you had seen me again on Twitter Spaces, which is for other people who don't know, it's like the clubhouse of Twitter that's being developed. I didn't say a whole lot because that was a Bitcoin space. I didn't want to bring in a bunch of Bitcoin people who don't deserve to get into HEX. Didn't want to bring them into it too much, because the HEX community, I think, is something really special, and I don't want just anybody getting into it. I know that everybody will be into it after a while, especially as money continues to be printed and Bitcoin continues to have its own limitations. It pretty much only has a send function, and then everything else, you have to rely on a centralized entity to earn yield off Bitcoin, and it's very, very unuseful other than as a store of value. HEX is a better store of value because it actually monetizes the only thing that matters, which is the time value of money. And that's what it means to be a store of value, is to have people lock their money for a certain amount of time, to reward them for doing so. That's the game theory. And to have it be trusted in that it's math, it's code, and we don't need a consensus to continue it. So anyway, don't buy HEX. What else can I say? Hey, to the community. All right. Yeah. All right. So now that I've just told Wall Street Bets not to get in, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat before we switch over to the daily stream from Hexologist. Because like I said, this is going to be an all-time short video for me. Hello, everybody. Greetings. Brian, Robert, Bitfinesse. How's it going? Hex Kai, Balliot Brand, David, good to see you. Marcavelli, Everybody's here. Hex Mac, good to see you. Lots of people I've streamed with. Devin Hoyt, how's it going? Extremely desirable. Tripavelli. Do I think Wall Street Bets will see this? I hope not. If you want them to, I guess you could retweet it, the actual video itself, or you could like it, or you could pull all kinds of other pranks on Twitter, right? That's what Twitter is there for. Can't handle that. Let's see. Don't panic. I'm panicking. I'm panic buying Hex. Can't stop me. Crypto Ewok, how's it going? George, good to see you there. We don't know how much gas will be in the future, but I'll talk about it in future streams. Nardo, how's it going? I saw some of your posts today. I loved them. David, your daughter's jumping up and down when she hears the name Kareem. Me too, you know. David, how's it going? Let's see. Okay, everybody's saying hi to each other. Access Alive, how's it going? Oh, did you guys see the thumbnail? My thumbnail game. I know it's getting pretty strong. It's basically the goose that laid the golden eggs. Tron, how's it going? And jumping out of the gems. How are you today? Amin, Blue Bum. Everybody's here. Jack, how's it going? Long time no see. Now, I know that the Hexologist is going to get started here. So let me pull up his stream so I can link you over there so that the Hex content can continue 24/7. 5555555, right? And I'll just play a little ad here so we can give me some time to bring up the Hexologist. All right, Hexologist has started up here. Let me link here in the chat. And then let me see how I can rate him. I love watching the Hexologist every day. Every day at 5:40 p.m. Central Time. Let's see. Okay, not trying to make a clip here. Let's see. Oh, there's the chat. Can I rate him from his own?